Now we're going to talk about stuff we cannot control. So let's talk about the global high volume keywords that I'm going to make a bold statement here that have to be a part of every campaign on Google Ads. Maybe once you grow your budget and you're trying to grow, what do you kind of break down what these global keywords are and
Yeah.
your view of them?
So a global keyword, as Jason, I think that's a great name for it because it's going to be a term that is typically indistinguishable between the quality of lead that you're going to get. To go with some of our examples we had before, it might be something like payroll software, or even more scary beyond that, it might be something like how to do payroll or payroll or payroll solutions, payroll companies.
Hey, Chris, payroll phrase match.
Yeah.
If you're really trying to grow, or
right.
exact match.
I mean, these you can get quantity of traffic, and a lot of times this absolutely has a place in Google Ads. For me, it has a place, but just like Jason said very wisely at the beginning of the show, an underfunded campaign may never get there until it proves profitability. Then it can grow and become the Amazon of its generation, right? So you can build a campaign like this where you start with profitability, then you might have a second campaign, what I call a fishing or exploratory campaign that tries some of these things at a manageable amount. CPCs that are low, budgets that's low. You can try some of these things. It never works if you take and throw these in the same bucket and the giant global keywords eat up all of the traffic. You cannot control that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, when I think of global keywords like movers near me, real estate attorneys, like say you're a real estate attorney, there's certain parts of real estate that you do, certain parts you don't. You probably still have to advertise on real estate attorney if you have a big enough budget, because a lot of those people will be needing what you offer, even though some of them won't. And when it's a lot of people will, but some or a lot of people won't be a good fit kind of thing that happens with these high volume global keywords. The word bids comes to mind for me, Chris. This is where bidding comes into place, because these keywords are going to have probably a lower conversion rate, but even if it's not a lower conversion rate, guaranteed they're probably going to have a lower real conversion rate in terms of becoming paying customers, because
Sales.
they're going to they're going to have a lower rate after the conversion rate in terms of they actually become paying customers, because they're so open. So because of that, they're less valuable, but they're still valuable because they're high volume and some good stuff does come from them. In a lot of cases, a lot of good stuff comes from them. And depending on how much good stuff comes from them, you can just use your bids to manage how aggressively you want to pay for it. Bid on them and what you want to pay for them. It's pretty simple, in my view.
Jason, would you agree with this statement? Once a company starts to dabble and play in high spend, broad keywords and automated bids, it becomes almost addictive and difficult for them to quit that tendency.
Broad keywords and high bids.
And
global keywords like this?
Well, not high bids, automated bids.
Automated bidding.
Automated bidding, conversion focused CPC, automated bidding, conversion focused bidding, I should say.
Yeah.
And broad keywords and high budgets.
Well, yeah, it's hard to quit or change, because number one, you see data and you're just judging things, and the bids are just judging. The system is just automating things based on top level surface data. And then the other thing that makes it tough is there's no nuance. You can't say, well, I mean, I guess at the ad group level, you can change your target CPA and have different levels of,
let's say, max conversions.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Something
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
Well, yeah, that's the thing you struggle with if you go down that road, because to me, if I want to specialize in office moves and long distance moves, those are worth a ton more to me. And I don't really care about the cost per lead. I don't care about the cost per conversion or max conversions. I'm thinking about revenue leads that actually bring in revenue and how much revenue they bring in. And I do still want to show on movers and Dallas movers near me, but I know those are going to turn into my kind of jobs at a lower rate, and I want to bid lower for them, even if they have a higher conversion rate. So you lose that ability to do nuanced things like that for sure.
And imagine that same client is, seeing in their Google Ads account 10, 15% conversion rates, and it's hard to stop something like that. Essentially, the only time I ever see clients stop that is when they start to hit full stop on, like, in their business. Rarely do they say, things are going okay, let's stop the Google ads and try a much more nuanced approach. No, they're not going to do that until their accountant tells them you cannot afford to pay for 50,000, 80,000 a month in Google ads. You have to do something. That's when they stop.
Or 10,000 a month, or 5,000 a month.
Sure.
3.
Well, whatever it is, that's a lot for you. But yeah, I see it a lot.
But also, Chris, to be fair to those strategies, if someone doesn't know what they're doing with Google ads and they have the word movers near me and they have the word moving phrase match and they're getting a bunch of moving on lyrics search terms and they don't know how to account for this, having that conversion strategy probably is better, because then the system can help at least get them within the bounds of success,
Sure.
as
There are
opposed to
times,
even better success.
But you know that they'd be better off calling one of us than they would just throwing it into the wind like that.